Good evening and welcome to the January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Spackendale Union Free School District Board of Education. The board will take a vote to go directly into executive sessions for discussions involving proposed pending or current litigation. It is anticipated that the board will return to the regular meeting at approximately 6:45 p.m. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Welcome back to the January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Spackendale Union Free School District Board of Education. I'd ask that you rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, item 4.01 is a public hearing on the district-wide school safety plan. I'd like to ask for a motion to open the public hearing on the revised district-wide school safety plan.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Do we have community input?
We can make comments, can we? Or ask a question? As part of the community. I just have one point of clarification. On page 5 of the safety plan, the last paragraph reads, all community-based organizations operating programs on district property must certify that supervising personnel have received the district's cardiac emergency response annex, the location of all AEDs in the building they're using, and have at least one adult certified in CPR and AED as a condition of using the facility. So I'm wondering if that's, well, it's language that's highlighted, so I'm not sure if that's in addition to the policy, or if that's just highlighted as part of the current policy, the pre-existing policy, or plan, rather. But I asked, pardon?
It's an addition.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, because this came up actually at our safety committee meeting, when we were discussing this prospectively. This isn't going to come before the public on the agenda, I guess, until the next meeting on the 27th. I guess that's what we talked about at the meeting, right? But we had some discussion at that meeting as to whether there would be a requirement that outside organizations have a person certified in AEDs at their events. And my understanding was, right, that we wouldn't necessarily be asking for that information.
I think we are. It's otherwise we would have to, any event that an outside group wanted to have, we would then have to pay for someone or find someone to come in for it. So we believe that the outside event should have someone with that certification. We think it's attainable. Obviously if there's some sort of situation we can help out, we would. But I think the first step would be for them to fill out a form that says, do you have someone who can do this, and that will play into whether you accept it or not.
Okay.
We could ask questions. If you say you don't have someone, we really don't think we can prove this, and have that dialogue. But I would think we would want them to do it for some time. They're the only ones there. It's
Sure.
reason for them that they're the ones running it, so they should really have that.
Okay, good. So that it just clarifies things for me. I guess the distinction we were talking about at the meeting is that we wouldn't necessarily provide someone. We would expect the organization to provide someone, but we will ask that.
So
that
we're
they-
specifically asking so that
That they confirm that someone's going to be available from their side.
The onus is on them
Yes.
to provide someone,
Yes.
and then they give us the information so that we can at
Right.
least reference it if necessary. But they have to provide someone.
And we talked about a form, possibly modifying that.
I think the form has already been modified.
I know we're getting into things that we have to policy. But
And And the thing that's highlighted, that's really the change. That's the only change
Right.
to this policy. This one, we actually include this December or the first meeting. Assistant district safety plan. So we just had to revise it really for that line.
Yeah, so my question is simply to clarify how it aligns with the policy that we're discussing regarding use, facility use, which is gonna come before the, I guess for first reading on the 27th.
But that's why we're changing all the policies for the facilities, because that doesn't have that language, so.
Good, thanks. Okay, good.
Any other community input or board input? Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing on the revised district-wide school safety plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Okay, that brings us to 5.01, comments from the public on consent agenda items. Public comment on consent agenda items. Any board discussions or anything that needs to be discussed on the consent agenda? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as written.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Passes 5-0.
With the passing of the consent agenda, we just like to point out, we did hire an interim food service director. His name is Larry Anthony. He's been at area districts probably the last 20 years or so more. I know him when I was at Arlington. Excellent as assistant director. But for the past decade or so, he's been redistrict training there. Recently retired. We met with him. John and I are very impressed. They said you definitely have some ideas that can help us. But really, the ultimate goal is to find a permanent food service director. And us we're embarking on that. We're good to have him. And this is the student body also. So welcome, Leonard.
Okay, that brings us to 7:01, first reading of policy 0111, which is our Title IX policy. Any board discussion on it? Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to accept the first reading of policy 0111, Title IX.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor? 5-0. Item 7:02 is first reading of policy 1111.1, which is our public comment on board meetings. Any board discussion on this item?
I'd like to make a motion that we table it for further discussion.
Okay, we need a second for that. Anybody want to second that motion?
So, second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Okay, we'll table that to, you want to table that to a specific, date specific, or is it,
That's policy. Okay, that's policy.
so it'll come back on the agenda here at some point soon after that. Okay, thank you. 9.01 is our secondary administration update.
Just leading off.
Good evening, everybody. As always, thank you for having us here and for your support of our schools. I thought tonight that I would highlight our newspaper. We have a newspaper club that started, it had been on the books for a number of years, but it was dormant, and we hadn't had a student newspaper in a number of years, since before I was here. And last year, we started again. It's called, sorry for my voice, I'm a little under the weather. It's called Todd Times, and it's an electronic newspaper, which I'm going to show you the latest issue in a minute. But it is a club that is run by Mr. Scanlon, who is our family consumer science teacher, and Mrs. Ramon, our art teacher. And this year it has 16 active members, which has gone up, it's about tripling. Last year they had about 5 or 6 people, now it's about 16. They have 2 editors-in-chief, Peter B. and Calder Leatherman. And the students get together every Monday. They think about content that they want to go over. Most of the student work they do outside in club time, and then they meet on Mondays to kind of do feedback, to give peer review, to edit the issues together. Some of the content that they created includes articles highlighting school events and classroom activities. There's creative writing, there's poems, there's comic strips, there's informational pieces on topics of personal interest, there's puzzles and scavenger hunts. There's opinion pieces on a variety of topics, and they'll do polls every once in a while to get, kind of a Todd Scoop response to different things. They use the Canva system program that a lot of people use, and I've always, they do an issue a month, and I'm always impressed with, the length of the issue. There's all kinds of things that they put in there. So I thought I'd just kind of click through. I didn't realize it was going to be so small, but if you want to just go, if you just want to click through, you can just hold on some pages here and there. You can see the different things. You've got stories. Keep going. You've got, that's a short story that somebody wrote. You've got art. You've got, pop culture references. You've got, things, anything that the kids might be interested in, but they, why do you think they're interested in? Okay. Yeah.
3% bigger.
Yeah, and just, I like the look of it, it's a nice look. It's just, I read through it once a month, and I'm always just so impressed with it.
Very comprehensive and very kid-centered, like some of the things in there.
Yeah, it's right. It's the kids.
Kid verbiage.
Yeah, the kids do everything. Yeah, they make it is a kids run for kids. Newspaper. They've got books you look. They've got puzzles the kids can do. This is one of their polls about,
I found that top one interesting. 50 split?
Yeah, 50% artificial versus real, yeah. Almost 90% think that snow is a good thing. Shout out to the music department. This is some pictures. This was a great thing. So we had our yearbook theme week the prior week before break, which was great. We had a 1-hour internal delay. We had competency grade wars, which we don't usually use. We had done that before. It was great. They did a great job. This is Walsh from the yearbook. They did a great job of that. We got games of the month. We highlight games.
It's awesome.
They've got memes, things that, obviously, middle school world are important things. Lots of game stuff. Student government did candygrams prior to the bill as well. And we got the scavenger hunt. So yeah, they do. It's nice, and you know they did. I think they do 80 here, which is it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and the students do a really nice job with it. And I thought it'd be nice for you guys to highlight and see the work that they do. So they share that with the staff and the students every month.
What's the name of it again?
Todd Times. You're welcome. Thank you.
Passing torch to Ken.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
We're starting the year off on a positive note. Overall, the hallways are vibrant. Kids are positive, happy, hopefully setting some New Year's resolution goals. Talked about that a little bit last week. Kind of reset the students' safety expectations, reminding them about our device policy, which has drastically, I think everybody would agree, drastically changed how students interact. We've seen so many different positive outcomes from it, and we really are enjoying the interaction. So just a side note. But I just wanted to highlight a couple things from right before winter break, and then where we're headed to now, and some celebrations that are coming up. So I'm just going to focus on our music department. Some of the things that I see in the classrooms and clubs going around the building that we may not see, that are not on Parent Square or in the newsletter. Some of the day-to-day routines that happen in the classes and instruction, some focus on science and Olympiad and science research. And then just want to mention, finishing up with nicely, we held 2 winter concerts before our break, and also in the school day, our concert choir carols through the halls. So they go into classrooms and they carol. They also did that in the lobby before the concert, which was a nice touch that they added this year. 18 chorus students were selected for the NYSSMA Area All-State Festival in November, and Caroline Sotile and Sasha Turk represented Spackenkill at the NYSSMA All-State Conference in December. For classrooms and clubs, you can actually, if you want to switch to the next page, there's a few pictures. So classrooms and clubs, our P2 club at the high school collaborated with National Honor Society Sock Drive and distributed the socks to Hope on a Mission in Poughkeepsie, which supports the homeless population. On December 11th, P2 collaborated with Havian Elementary's food drive to create food boxes, which were distributed with the Spackenkill Leo Club Adopt a Family program, which was a huge success. I didn't focus too much on this about that, but I do want to shout out Adopt a Family, the Leo Club, for the work that they do. I started a newsletter. The students and the staff really put a lot of thank you to the community for helping out with that. We had a lot of families benefit from that. Our health class featured a Spackenkill student with Down syndrome who's also hearing impaired, who assisted in teaching sign language to her fellow students. I just wanted to highlight that. MST students, or Math, Science, Technology, are building balsa wood bridges, and then they are testing them this week to see who has the strongest design in the engineering piece to that. Super interesting World Lit classes recently took part in a pen pal project. After reading The Best We Could Do, each of the seniors partnered with an immigrant student from International High School in Brooklyn. They got information from their pen pal and then wrote a letter to that student, which was returned to them, about life living in Poughkeepsie and some advice living, how to be successful in American school system. So some of these students are brand new to the country. Avid had a guest speaker, Jamie Palatini, the Vice President of Communications for USA Sports, which is a new network that's splitting off of NBC Sports in 2026. He spoke to all the Avid students about his journey, how he got to that point, and answered a lot of the questions about some insider information on the networks and students. Science Olympiad, there's 2 pictures up there. The group in the middle of Science Olympiad, they competed at South Windsor High School Invitational and won 10 medals. They also, this past Sunday, came in 2nd place at the Mountain Academy Invitational. We came in second. John Jay came in third. Just want to say that. I'll make that statement to my fellow John Jay people.
Came in first.
I don't know. I was just focused on coming in second and beating John Jay. Saeed Hussein in the bottom right-hand corner is a current senior at Spakenville, and he has been recognized as a top 300 scholar for the 85th Regeneron Science Talent Search. As a result, our science research program has been awarded a $2,000 scholarship, which is going to be used towards materials and supplies and continuing to grow the already robust program that we have. So, top 300 in the country, recognized by Regeneron. It was a huge accolade for him, and the district and the school benefit from that too. So definitely want to shout him out. And lastly, Nice Tea. I talk about this every year since I've been here. New York State Theater Education Association puts on a conference every year. We sent 12 students this year, 14 total with myself and Miss Oakley, who came, who's our director of the play this year. It's a really extensive conference. Students essentially work from 7:30 in the morning till 11 at night in workshops from industry professionals. It's growing every year. We can only take a cap the amount of students that can go. There was 870 students that went this year all across New York State. They take over the entire Villa, not Villa Borghese, I'm thinking about prom, Villa Roma. And it's just an entire weekend of learning, growth, and just kids being who they are and who they want to be, and seeing professionals that work on Broadway and learning from them hands-on. So we've seen direct results from this. We have students that do light and sound that have learned how to operate our boards, our new technology, and apply that right away to our new plays. And then some of the classes that our students attended this year, airbrush makeup, hand-to-hand combat, gore-tastic makeup and mask making, how to write a play when you're stuck, improv 101, excuse me, Hamilton, Broadway, song and dance, magic of theater, so you want to play in a pit, directing brand new plays, Mean Girls dance workshop, monologues unleashed, SpongeBob Broadway masterclass, which I had to look up because I was like, I'm not sure what that class is, but it's actually the students learn the certain scenes from the SpongeBob play on Broadway. That's the same with Mean Girls. I do want to shout out that we are auditioning for our spring musical right now, which is Mean Girls. So we'll give out more information on that to be continued. But it's a weekend not just where kids get to meet kids from all over the state and talk about interests and network, but they also network with colleges. There's a college fair. About 15 schools go there, and then again, industry professionals from Broadway, from places all over Syracuse. They give up their time and teach our youth, so hopefully that they continue their education and go into those fields, which happens often. So it's extensive and it's exhausting, but it's an amazing experience, and I'm glad to be part of it every single year. And you'll see on the top right is the opening ceremony with our students, and which the keynote speaker was the woman who played Glinda on Broadway. So she performed for them. One of the cast members from them. She played Glinda the last, not the current. Not her. No, not from the movie.
No, not Kristen Jennifer.
But the woman who played it before the last one before the current one.
Still?
She performed for them. We started the weekend from there. So.
You notice in the picture, all the way to the left is Mr. Lewis. I would say this is one of his favorite events. Feels all fair to say.
Yeah, it is, and I never did theater. I did light and sound as a teacher. I'm always fascinated by it because I was a musician. Because this isn't just theater; it's So you want to play in a pit. That's a workshop for learning how to really perform in a pit. It really touches on every aspect of music and that genre. But I was drawn to it. I was introduced to it in Wappingers as an AP. John Jay asked to chaperone it. And for me, the thing that touches me the most is just the overwhelmingly positive environment that is there with 1,000 people all supporting each other, all having fun, all learning, like just sponges, and embracing all different types of art. There's singing, dancing, artistic ability, music, anything you can think of when it comes to the arts. And then also other activities. There's sporting, there's basketball, bowling that they do, team building workshops, rock climbing, swimming, there's dance, I don't know how
Just 2 days, all that, 2 days.
It's Friday through Sunday. So it starts, we leave here Friday afternoon right after school, and we literally get off the bus and we go right to the first workshop. And there's 5 workshops throughout up until Sunday morning, and then we have the closing ceremony. The workshops are scattered. There's also like a symposium Saturday night. Last year, one of our students was doing light and sound, so they kind of get tested throughout the weekend, and they audition for parts, and they put on plays that students write, and it's a competition for that too. So Caroline Sotiel actually performed in the Hamilton class, they learned tap routine from one of the songs on the play, and they performed it on the showcase Saturday night. So we tend to have students that get involved in the showcase as well. So not only are they doing the workshops, but then they audition to showcase the next night, and they spend all day outside of those workshops practicing that showcase.
The showcase where the advisors would go.
I didn't want to win a raffle last year, so no showcase. But there's a lot of teachers that also give up their time to teach workshops. So it's split between industry professionals, teachers. Mr. Mayorana, our chorus teacher, teaches workshops there. And he chaperoned the first year, and then got latched into teaching it right away just because he was so drawn into it. But it's really just a team effort. There's a board of educators that put it on. There's a lot of teachers that are involved in it in the association, like myself. We're all part of it.
We didn't have to have the weather talk. It seemed every year there was weather.
Yeah. The weather was nice. There's a bonfire too. They do everything. It's yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely, please.
I put out some correspondence today about graduation, the dates, and we'll put out more. But today was the first day, so Thursday, June 18th, 6 p.m. is our graduation ceremony, with a rain date of Saturday at 9:30 a.m. And Regents exams are next week, as a reminder. So Tuesday is a testing day only, and then we have regular school the rest of the week in tandem with our Regents exams.
That brings us to item 10.01, which is our board correspondence. A number of emails over the last month. We've got 2 that were related to a student incident, which were handled by administration. 2 that were related to a lunch quality and cost issue, which our administration has been in contact with the person that composed those emails. And our 5th email is with regard to our roofing systems and a report that was from CERTA. And our business manager has been in contact with our consulting engineer with regard to coming up with questions or a response to that question, and will be providing to the person shortly. With that, we'll move on to 10.02, comments from the public on non-agenda items. If you kindly just come up to the podium so we can hear you and capture you on the video and audio?
I don't want to go on video.
Oh, well, the video can stay on this side.
Yeah, audio fine. Only because I've experienced theft of my identity. So I disapprove of any type of video. Even saying the word yes should not be recorded because it's captured by people that work on the dark web. I've experienced this in real time, and the police are involved. It's a very serious situation. One that should be on high alert for elderly people in this community who participate in paying taxes. Okay. It should be on an agenda to speak upon dark web phishing. It's infiltrated through our mail in accordance with California HHS, Social Security, Medicare recipients are being phished from Cali into our homes, and our identities are being taken for palliative care from somebody in Cali. Okay? I don't know who the person is who needs palliative care, but this is something about me. Also, how about implementing AI? It's a new language. And trades, emphasis on trades on children fall through the cracks.
Appreciate that.
Anyway, I would love to participate in any nuanced talk improving opportunities for children when they do depart from this pattern on their journey to learn about taxes or how to fill out an envelope. I've experienced a decline in that basic knowledge in children. How to be a person. They can't read the Declaration of Independence. Just a few concerns I have.
Appreciate the comments. I like actually mention that we do have a pretty robust phishing program for our educators and all the employees here at the district. Maybe at some point we can talk about some of the things that we might teach some of our students about phishing and things like that. We have talked about some of that in the past. We're focusing on AI this year. It's one of our goals. So we will be addressing AI more robust manner, and we'll be having some conversations and presentations on that as the year moves forward. And with the trades, I've been a very big proponent of that. Obviously, everybody knows that. That's in this room right here with me. But we've also had plenty of trade fairs and vocational opportunities that we typically always have annually at minimum. But we've actually had other programs here at the school where we've tried to embolden folks to consider the trades as opposed to the traditional, you just have to go to college. So. Yeah.
I still have my work when I came here, when I worked in Wichita. Yeah, I still have my math that I did myself. Boy, what a treat to show my son.
To piggyback what you said is next board meeting, we're talking about the goals a little bit.
I can't understand, I'm sorry.
Here, Mike.
Next board meeting, we have a presentation on our goals for this year, and AI is part of that. So we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing with that to try to educate everyone. Mr. Lewis is working on Portrait of a Graduate, and a lot of what you talked about, envelope writing, or maybe specific to that, but kind of some of those items are included in that. So there's definitely a lot going on, and we do have a pretty robust tech talking about phishing and what to look for, and I think our staff, and probably even our board, has to take small little modules to keep up their learning, because it changes so fast.
And I'm only with my experience, my observations of the communication skills, eye contact, core strength in their center. I'm witnessing a lot of bullying while they're out in public. Children are getting hurt. There should be some sort of self-defense type of strengthening core for their center, so they can even feel the person behind them before they are approached and violated. It's a real concern for me. If we don't start here, where do we start? It's a conversation table, and also about missing children in the church. It's a concern of mine. I've been dealing with this in my own life, and it's a real thing. And until it affects your family, you will never know who the perpetrators are.
I appreciate your comments. We do have a 3-minute limit, which I think we've exceeded, but thank you very much. Appreciate you. Are there any other comments from the public? Okay, with that, we'll move on to comments from the board. Any board comments?
Quick comment regarding that monthly Dutchess County School Board Association meeting. This past Thursday, the 8th of January, attended that meeting. Very informative and illuminating presentation at that meeting from Melissa Knapp from Novell, and one of the partners from the Thomas, Strohan and Waxman, Pettigrew and Mail law firm. And they talked about the status of regional collective bargaining across the district. Very interesting, illuminating, shared a lot of data, which I'm happy to pass along if people are interested. But it was an informative, like I said, an illuminating conversation. That was the highlight. Talked a little bit about New York State budget priorities in the upcoming legislative season, and also from the perspective of BOCES. So it was an informative meeting. That's it.
Anyone else? It's been a long meeting. Okay, so with that, I'll turn it over to our superintendent, item 10.04, comments from the superintendent.
And just welcome everyone back. We've been back now a little bit, but we had a little bit of a break. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Still be aware of weather calls. So next week with the regions, definitely be working with Ken if there's some issues with 2-hour delays or snow days. Ken has some secondary plans, I guess, if something was to happen. So be aware of that. We are off on Monday. Martin Luther King Day, so everyone enjoy that holiday. And then just having everyone back and being back at school just feels like we've never left. We didn't have a break, and it just feels good. Everyone's coming alive. I was at the high school on Friday. I walked into Ken's office, and it had all kinds of luggage and everything, and it was really to go to the Nesty conference. And as you see him light up with that, it's just cool to have these events. It's just a small event, but it means a lot to our students, and you really get to see that when Ken comes here or Dan, whoever brings it to life. And I think it's very important that they continue to do that, because just to see that one event and how it touched, it might not have been a lot of students, but how it touches our students, and we have so many of that. We want to take it for granted that we have so many of those events that touch our kids and that we offer our students. So just want to thank the board and the community for supporting all that, because it's really pretty cool.
Thank you so much. With that, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting. For a second. All in favor? Passes 5-0. See you next time.